Welcome back to online classes. Dear students, how are you? I am James here. Today I am going to discuss with the Indian Penal Code. Okay, under section 359 to 369. This 359 to 369 explain about of kidnapping, abduction, slavery and forced labor. Kidnapping, abduction, slavery and forced labor. Okay, we'll discuss one by one. Okay, what is the meaning of kidnapping? Okay, so this portion also is a very important portion in this Indian Penal Code. So you just watch clearly what I am going to discuss with you. Okay, so here section 359 explain about kidnapping. Okay, so and briefly explain about kidnapping is of two kinds. Okay, number one is kidnapping from India and kidnapping from lawful guardianship. Kidnapping from lawful guardianship. Here the literal meaning of kidnapping is child stealing. Okay, and kidnapping is of two kinds, but there may be cases in which the two kinds overlap each other. For instance, a minor may be kidnapped from India as well as lawful guardianship. A bad perusal of the provisions clearly shows that the legislature did not confine to constitute the offence only if a minor girl is taken away from the place where she used to reside, but the emphasis is upon taking away the girl from the lawful guardianship. Under section 359 and section 361 of Indian Penal Code do not spell out any territorial jurisdiction for committing the offence. In my view, the rigor of the law travels with the ward or subject, and any person involving himself or herself in the offence of kidnapping or procuring a minor girl at any point of time would also come within the purview of under section 359 and 361 of IPC. What is that 359? Explain about kidnapping. What is that section 361? Punishment of the kidnapping. Okay, so we'll discuss another section 360. Section 360 explain about kidnapping from India, because we already discussed with the two type of kidnapping. One is kidnapping from India and another is kidnapping from lawful guardians. Lawful guardian means if parents or any custodial, any hostel from anywhere. Okay, so the two types. First we discuss the first type. The first type explain about kidnapping from India. That is, whoever conveys any person beyond the limits of India without the consent of that person or of some person legally authorized to consent on behalf of that person is said to kidnap that person from India. The offence under this section may be committed on a grown-up person or a minor by conveying him or her beyond the limits of India. If the person kidnapped is above 12 years of age and has given consent to his or her being conveyed behind the limits of India, no offence is committed. Now, the age limit for boys is 16 years and for girls 18 years under Act XL 2 of 1949. Okay, and what are the ingredients needs to fulfill the kidnapping from India? The number one, we need two things. Number one, conveying of any person beyond the limits of India. Number one, conveying of any person beyond the limits of India. Number two, such conveying must be without the consent of that person. Okay, without the consent of that person. Okay, that's all. We'll discuss another section. Section 361 of Indian Penal Code. What is that? Kidnapping from lawful guardianship. Okay, kidnapping from lawful guardianship. Here, section 361 explain about whoever takes or entices any minor under 16 years of age if a male, or under 18 years of age if a female, or any person of unsound mind out of the keeping of the lawful guardian of such minor or person of unsound mind without the consent of the such guardian, okay, is said to be kidnap such minor or a person from lawful guardianship. Okay, I'll give you explanation and as well as exception also. So earlier I discussed 361 is punishment, not like that. 361 is kidnapping from lawful guardianship. Okay, sorry. Now the explanation. The words lawful guardian, the word lawful guardian in this section includes any person lawfully entrusted with the care or custody of such minor or other persons. Okay. What are the exceptions? The section does not extend to the act of any person who in good faith believes himself to be the father of an illegitimate child, or who in good faith believes himself to be entitled to the lawful custody of such custody, unless such act is committed for an immoral or unlawful purposes. Okay, based on this section, the offense under this section may be committed in respect of either a minor or a person of unsound mind. Okay, to kidnap a grown-up person of sound mind, therefore, would not amount to an offense under this. Okay, the main object of the section is at least as much to protect children for teenage from being abducted or seduced for improper purposes, as for the protection of the rights of parents and guardians, the lawful charge or custody of minors or insane persons. Okay, a leading case in Kerala High Court was given, the Shah Jahan, SHAJAHAN, Shah Jahan versus State of Kerala. The High Court opinion that following this case, the purpose and object of section 361 of appears, 361 of IPC appears to be in dispute only. Okay, so the following section has 4 essential category. Essential means the ingredients. The main 4 ingredients is available based on the section of 361 of IPC. Number 1, taking or enticing away a minor or a person of unsound mind. Okay, number 1, taking or enticing away a minor or person of unsound mind. Number 2, such minor must be under 16 years of age if a male, or under 18 years of age if a female. Okay. The third point, the taking or enticing must be out of the keeping of the lawful guardian of such minor or person of unsound mind. Number 4, such taking or enticing must be without the consent of such guardian. Okay, now it clear? Here, what is the takes or entices any minor? What is the meaning that in this provision? Supreme Court considered the interpretation of expression takes or entices, a leading case Varadarajan versus State of Madras. This is one of the example case in this entices, and another case State of Haryana versus Rajaram. Both cases also example and interpretation to give the meaning of the section. Okay, both the decisions are by 3 judge benches. Okay, so but unfortunately the Rajaram, the State of Haryana versus Rajaram cases, okay, unfortunately Rajaram, the latter decision does not refer to the earlier 3 bench decision in Varadarajan. The purpose and object of section 361 of IPC appears to be in dispute. Okay, in Varadarajan cases, the Supreme Court had occasion to consider this under section 498 of Indian Penal Code, and we find identical expression takes or entices employed by the legislature. That was of course for totally different offence. While considering the object of section 361 of Indian Penal Code, the Supreme Court in Varadarajan took the view that interpretation of the expression takes or entices in section 498 of IPC cannot be blindly and mechanically imported while considering the interpretation of the same expression in section 361 of IPC. So the Supreme Court took the view that section 498 of IPC is meant essentially for protection of rights of the husband, whereas section 361 IPC and other cognate sections of IPC are intended more for the protection of minors and persons of unsound mind than the rights of the guardians of such persons. And Varadarajan case had referred to the decision of the Bombay High Court in State of Urban Singh case, okay, where it was held that the mischief intended to be punished by under section 361 of IPC partly consists in the violation or the infringement of the guardians' rights to keep their wards under their care and custody. Okay, so but the more important object of this provision is undoubtedly to afford security and protection to the wards themselves. Okay, and Varadarajan cases following Urban Singh case appears to take the view that both purposes are there, that is protection of the vulnerable minors are also protection of the rights of the guardian, but emphasis appears to have been located in the former reason or former purpose. But in Rajaram, that means State of Haryana versus Rajaram cases, the Supreme Court held that the object of this section seems as much as to protect the minor children from being seduced for improper purposes as to protect the rights and the privileges of guardian having the lawful charge or custody of their minor wards. Okay, the gravamen of this offence lies in taking or enticing of a minor under the ages specified in this section out of the keeping of the lawful guardian without the consent of such guardian. The words takes or entices any minor, that is out of the keeping of the lawful guardian of such minor, and the section 361 of IPC are significant. Here the use of the word keeping in the context connotes the idea of charge, protection, maintenance, and control. Further, the guardian's charges and control appears to be compatible with the independence of action and movement in the minor. Okay, and then the guardian's protection and the control of the minor being available wherever necessary arises. On plain reading of this section, the consent of the minor who is taken or enticed is wholly immaterial. It is only the guardian consent which takes the case out of his purview, nor is it necessary that taking or enticing must be shown to have been means of force or fraud. Persuasion by the accused person, which creates willingness on the part of the minor to be taken out of the keeping of the lawful guardian, would be sufficient to attract this section. And another part, the Supreme Court Varadarajan cases had come to the positive conclusion that the minor had gone out of the keeping of her guardian voluntarily, and the accused had no role whatsoever in such minor walking out of the keeping of her guardian. A person who allows such a minor who is already out of the keeping of guardian to accompany him commits no offence under section 361 of IPC. That alone is a dictum in Varadarajan case. It is no authority on the question whether consent of a minor, even a knowledgeable minor close to 18 years, that girl, is relevant or crucial in prosecution under section 361 of IPC. Here, Varadarajan is authority only on the question as to when a minor can be said to be in the keeping and when she can be said to be out of the keeping of the lawful guardian, if it were proved that the accused had anything to do with the minor walking out of the keeping of the guardian. The final conclusion of in this Varadarajan case before the Supreme Court would have been different. Later, the two judge benches in a TD Vadagama versus State of Gujarat case ascertained the precise distinction in the dictum between the three judge benches in Varadarajan and Rajaram case. Varadarajan and Rajaram case. Okay. The dictum in Varadarajan turned on its own peculiar facts. It is held it would, however, be sufficient if the prosecution establishes that though immediately prior to the minor leaving the father's protection, no active part was played by the accused. He had at some earlier stage solicited or persuaded the minor to do so. In our opinion, if evidence to establish one of those things is lacking, it would not be legitimate to infer that the accused is guilty of taking the minor out of the keeping of the lawful guardian merely because after she has actually left the guardian's house or house where her guardian and kept her, joined the accused, and the accused helped her in her design not to return to her guardian's house by taking her along with him from place to place, because no doubt the part played by the accused could be regarded as facilitating the fulfillment of the intention of the girl. That part, in our opinion, falls short of an inducement to the minor to slip out of the keeping of her lawful guardian and is therefore not tantamount to taking In Prakash versus State of Haryana case also, a two-judge benches of the Supreme Court held that 361 of IPC is designed to protect the sacred right of the guardians with respect to their minor wards. The bench had observed earlier that the object of section 361, it seems, is as much to protect the minor children from being seduced for improper purpose as to protect the rights and privileges of guardians having the lawful custody of their minors' wards. It is clear from the above observations in Varadarajan case that if the accused played some role at any stage by which he either solicited or persuaded the minor to abandon the legal guardianship, it would be sufficient to hold such person guilty of kidnapping. Okay, so this is what explain about the kidnapping cases. We discussed the three cases. One is Varadarajan cases, second is Rajaram cases, okay, and other cases Vadgama. Okay, so inter between the decision is going on. After that only conclusion will be coming out. Okay, so we'll see what is the meaning of right of minors versus right of guardians. Okay, here we'll discuss about rights of minor versus right of guardian. Right, what is the rights of minor and what is the rights of guardian? Here, protection of rights of the guardian and protection of rights of the minor are contradictory themes or purposes. They are different dimensions of the same concept. It would be myopic to assume that the two purposes conflict. The law assumes that in the Indian context, the true interest of the minor and the interest of the parent or guardian concur. That is the basic plank of parental, that is guardians, authority and right. Consent of the minor is hence irrelevant in a case where the true interest of the minor and the interest of the guardian conflict and the guardian acts against the interest of the minor. The expression takes or entices may not cover a good Samaritan who acts in the true and genuine interest of the minor and save the child from the guardian, but except in such a rare and exceptional situation, it will have to be assumed that the right of the guardian and the true interest of the minor concur, and any invasion into the right of the guardian, even with the consent of the minor, will have to be frowned upon law by invoking under section 361 of IPC. Okay students, what is that? And other point of view in the same section, when taking is complete, okay, the kidnappers taking or entices. Okay, in this concept, the word when the taking is completed, the offense of kidnapping from lawful guardianship is complete when the minor is actually taken from lawful guardianship. It is not an offense, okay, continuing so long as the minor is kept out of such guardianship. In determining whether a person takes a minor out of the lawful keeping of his guardian, the distance to which the minor is taken away is immaterial. Okay, what is that meaning? Enticing. Enticing is an act of accused by which the person kidnapped is induced of his own accord to go to the kidnapper. The word entice involves an idea of inducement or allurement by exciting hope or desire in the order. It may take many forms difficult to visualize. It is not necessary that taking or enticing should be by means of force or fraud. Enticement need not be confined to any single form of allurement. Anything which is likely to allure the minor girl would be sufficient. There is an essential distinction between taking and enticing. The mental attitude of the minor is immaterial in the case of taking when the child is taken away. But the word entice involves the idea of inducement or allurement. Okay, that's all. Okay, students, and other thing, we already discussed the age of the minor, girl or boy. Okay, what is that? This under section. In the case of boy, the age limit is fixed 16 years. In the case of girl, yeah, girl at 18 years by the Act XL 2 of 1949. Before this amendment, the age limit was 14 and 16 respectively. 14 is boy, okay, 16 is female, girl. After the amendment of Act only, it is modified the age. So when a girl under the age is kidnapped, it is no difference that the accused did not know the girl to be under that age, or that from her appearance he might have thought that she was of a great age. Anyone dealing with such a girl does so is peril, and if she turns out to be under 18, he must take the consequences. Okay, even though he bona fide believed and had reasonable ground for believing that she was over 18. And another point of in the section, any person of unsound mind. What is that? Any person of unsound mind. If the person kidnapped is normally of sound mind but is made unconscious from poisoning, such a person cannot be said to be of unsound mind. Okay, for example, a person under an anesthetic for an operation can hardly be said to be of an unsound mind. Okay, here where a girl aged 20 years had been made unconscious from datura metal, that leaf poisoning. Okay, when she was taken away, it was held that she could not be said to be a person of unsound mind, and the person taking her away could not be guilty of kidnapping. These are all provisions under this kidnapping. And another thing, without the consent of such guardian. What is that? Without the consent of such guardianship, the taking or enticing of the minor out of the keeping of the lawful guardian must be without his consent. The consent of the minor is immaterial. If a man by false and fraudulent representation induces the parents of a girl to allow him to take her away, such taking will amount to kidnapping. Consent given by the guardian after the commission of the offense would not cure it. Okay, where a person carried off without the consent of her father a girl to whom he was betrothed by her father, because the father suddenly changed his mind and broke off the engagement, it was held that he was guilty of kidnapping. Okay, and another explanation about this same section, out of the keeping of the lawful guardian. What is that? Out of the keeping of the lawful guardian. The word keeping implies neither apprehension nor detention, but rather maintenance, protection and control manifested not by continual action, but as available on necessity arising. And this relation between the minor and the guardian is certainly not dissolved so long as a minor will take advantage of it and place herself within the sphere of its operation. It is not necessary that the girl should be in physical possession of the guardian. It is enough if she is under continuous control, which is for the first terminated by the act complained of. If a girl goes out into the street or into a field by herself, or goes on a visit either with or without the knowledge of the guardian, she is still said to be in the legal keeping of her parents. She can be said to be no longer in the keeping or control of the lawful guardian when the facts disclose that she was either driven away from a parental roof or she voluntarily abandoned the control of the guardian on account of ill treatment. The legislature has advisedly preferred the expression the keeping of the lawful guardian to the word possession. The word keeping is compatible with the independence of action and movement in the object kept. Okay students, and another point of view in the same section, lawful guardian, we know very well. In this portion explanation, lawful guardian means is intended to extend protection given to parents to any person lawfully entrusted with the care or custody of minor. The fact that a father allows his child to be in the custody of a servant or a friend for a limited purpose and for a limited time cannot determine the father's rights as a guardian or his legal possession for the purpose of the criminal law. Okay, if the facts are not inconsistent with a continuous of the father's legal possession of the minor, the latter must be held to be in the father of possession or keeping, even though the actual physical possession should be temporarily with a friend or other persons. And the word lawful does not necessarily mean that the person who entrusts a minor to the care or custody of another must stand in the position of a person having a legal duty or obligation to the minor. The expression lawful guardian must be literally construed so as to distinguish from legal guardian, as a guardian may be lawful without being legal. The expression lawfully entrusted signifies that the care and the custody of a minor should have arisen in some lawful manner so as to show as if the person having the custody of the minor had been entrusted with the care and the custody of the minor. Where the father of a minor girl delivered her to prospective husband to be taken over to the later house for solemnization of ceremonies, she was held to be in the custody of a lawful guardian during the course of the transit. Okay, where the order in favor of the mother was passed by a lower court, but it was said by the high court, it was held that the father who has custody of the minor child would continue to be in lawful custody until further orders. The Supreme Court clarified that law in India to be governed by the provision of IPC and not the 1993 US Act. Okay, in this section is very longer section, will going on. Okay, I'll give you one example of case. A bare reading of section 361 of IPC shows that it is necessary to prove that the female should be under the age of 18 years and is taken away from the keeping of lawful guardianship of her guardian without the consent of the guardian. where the accused kidnapped the prosecutrix, daughter of informant aged 15 years, and committed rape, okay, on her, and she clearly stated that she did not give her consent for sexual intercourse. In this situation, the accused is liable to be convicted under section 366 of IPC and 376 of IPC. Okay, now it's clear. Okay, student, what is that section 366? So 366? Huh? Section 376, punishment of rape. 366, kidnapping, okay, abducting or inducing woman to compel her marriage, etc. Compel her marriage to etc. Okay, so this section will apply if raping, something like what kidnapping and rape, both commission of offenses came here, this section will be applied. Okay, students, I'm closing this session. We'll meet you again next online classes. Stay with your legal mind. Okay, please read it, please watch regularly. Those who are not subscribed in this online classes, please click that subscribe button. Okay, and bell ring also available. You just click and send your feedback also. Thank you, students. Wish you all the best. Bye. Take care.